we are podcasting in a bar, brewery. Do you get upset when people call this a bar?
No, I wish more people thought of us like a bar. The idea of the third place, about this, it's a place you go that's not your home, it's not your work, but it's a comfortable space. You meet people there. That's what we like to maintain that. But the hops, the malt, the water, they're all from here. To our knowledge, no one's ever done it. The beer was great. It's called Harvest Ale. Our moniker is, we named this beer for this incredible river system that feeds the Delta. So if you're out enjoying that river system and you want a cold one, we want to make something that you'd enjoy in that setting.
Okay, so guys, earlier today, Pete took over my Instagram, so I'm taking over the podcast. Yeah, so anyway, point is, thank you guys for joining us on another episode of the Skiff Wanderer podcast, and this is part of the Lost and Wandering series. And I guess, Pete, you can have your podcast night back.
You just...
Let's go in there.
You were doing good.
Oh, you want me to keep going?
Well, guys, this is actually a Skiff Wanderer podcast first. We are podcasting in a bar, brewery. Do you get upset when people call this a bar?
No, I wish more people thought of us like a bar.
Yeah.
I call it my most favorite pub in the universe.
It's got a pub vibe, that's for sure.
I love it. I fucking love it.
That is for sure.
So that voice that you hear that's not a Peter is a John, and that's John Killian, the owner.
No.
Head brewer.
Not the owner. No, manager. Just say manager. Just leave it there.
Just leave it there.
Yeah. Start putting those titles on me, they're going to make me do way more.
Head dude in charge.
Trying to get a nap in, so.
Not the owner. Anyways, we're here.
At the world's greatest brewery. Well, definitely the best one in Lower Alabama, hands down.
Yeah.
Fact.
So my first question.
Fact, yeah.
My first question is, where'd you grow up? How'd you get into making delicious brews?
So I grew up in Birmingham, and I was there, turning 21, getting to be of age at the beginning of the Free the Hops movement. Mm-hmm. People that aren't familiar, Alabama had some archaic laws in regards to beer, what you can make, the gravity of it, the styles you could make. And so there was a huge push in the middle 2000s up to 2008 to transform those laws. It's called the Free the Hops movement. Birmingham was, one of the hearts of that scene. Mm-hmm. As soon as the hops were freed, so to speak, some of the largest breweries in the South popped up overnight. And it looked like it was overnight, but these guys have been working behind the scenes to get ready to go. Places like Good People Brewing Company, who I had been with, who I used to work for, Back 40 out of Gadsden, Straight to Ale out of Huntsville. Those the big dogs of Alabama beer. They were all really instrumental in that. And so it precedes us by, 12 years. They were doing it long before we came around. But that's really the heart of it. And so I was in Birmingham in my early 20s when all that came about, and you got swept up in it, and it was exciting. You get to have these delicious beer. It's not your granddad's, Schlitz or whatever, but it was something totally new, totally different. Going to, they would take volunteers to can in the early days because they didn't have enough employees, because they didn't have any money, because they'd barely sold any beer at that point. And they'd pay you in beer if you'd go help them can. So you'd show up to this party, all these 20-somethings there, and you've got these unlabeled cans of stuff that tastes like grass to everybody else. And it was like that scene from Back to the Future where you're like, you may not like this now, but your kids are going to love it. And so that's kind of how it felt in the early days of craft beer in Alabama. But now, it's a big industry here. Mobile's got a steadier beer scene than it's ever had before. Birmingham, people call it Birmingham because of that. So it all came from that. I think I just right place, right time. If I would have been born in the 20s, I'd probably be like a bootlegger or something. I don't want to think before that.
Yeah.
I told Pete earlier that this is a fact. John was born to be in this whole brewery situation. And it's so fun. Like, we came to April and the kids and I and our friends, we came here to support the Mobile Baykeeper stuff that you guys do. And that's one of the best things about Braided River and what you guys do. You guys are so instrumental in just the conservation scene, oddly enough, because I got wrapped into it, now you're part of the fishing scene, which is crazy, which was super cool.
It's one of the foremost. People call me that.
Yeah.
People call me all the time, asking me stuff about fly fishing.
Yeah.
And I don't know why you'd want to catch flies. It doesn't make sense to me. But you guys are doing. I think that's cool. Do your thing.
Yeah. So I keep on threatening to take John with me on a fishing trip. We're gonna get there. We're gonna take John.
I told you, let me wear my water
David.
wings and I'll be there.
I'm there, bro. I'm there. Whatever you need, bro. Whatever you need.
I'm not going without my floaties.
But it's so cool. But the thing about it is, Braided River is really, really integrated into this area, into this scene, in a way that a lot of people don't know and don't understand. And like getting to come here and going back to John, one of my favorite things about John and Allison and everybody that works here, which is just absolutely dope, is the fact that it feels so at home. Like when I come in here, I know everybody, which is wonderful. And then watching John in his natural environment, meeting everybody and their mama, and then knowing everybody, which I think is a hoot. And it's really cool. It always has that vibe. I mean, you always hear everybody says, "Well, my favorite bar is like going to Cheers." It's a very similar situation.
It's
if
a
I'm
Cheers
being
vibe
honest.
here. I appreciate you saying that, and I do think you hit on something that we think about very consciously. We talk about, and we try to be intentional about maintaining that for a couple of reasons. But the idea of the third place, about this, it's a place you go that's not your home, it's not your work, but it's a comfortable space. You meet people there. That's what we like to maintain. That's why a lot of our partners, you guys, Mobile Baykeeper, which I'm sure we'll talk more about later, their work to maintain a fourth thing, which is like a quiet personal space, which we get when we can go out into this unbelievable paradise that we're lucky enough to live in. I mean, America's Amazon, for God's sake. I mean, it's one of the most stunningly beautiful places on earth, and it's ours. And so when they do the work to maintain that quiet personal space, you can go out and be quiet, you can just hear nature. And so we want to help create that third space for a lot of people too. So because you can't live a well-rounded and good life if you don't have all of those things, So.
Yeah, and as a parent, it's so great to be able to have a place like Braided River. Like April and I, we've got a big family, and so when we get that chance to break away, we know exactly where we're going. We're coming here. We're coming to Braided River. We're coming to see our friends. We're coming to see, and there's folks that it never fails when I come here, and April and I come here. We see people we know, not just the staff, which is always so wonderful and greets us every time, and we know all these people, but also too like suddenly it's like people that visit my store and they're from the fly shop, or there's folks here that work with Baykeeper, or there's folks here just in general that we know that's become part of that whole fabric. And it's been really cool to just watch Braided River just be really integrated into this whole area, not just Mobile, but I would say the Mobile Bay area as a whole.
Yeah, communities are pretty dope, huh?
It is great. It's
I think
awesome.
our caveman ancestors figured that one out pretty early. And then we all forgot about it and started moving out to far-flung nowhere.
Yeah.
And then maybe we're realizing again, like, hey, it's pretty badass to live in places where you can know people, build relationships that are meaningful. I mean, you bring your kids in here, watch them grow up. I mean, when you first started bringing them, they could barely handle a light beer, and now they're chugging the heavy stuff. So I think that's been amazing.
They're doing really well. They're growing nicely.
They really are. And they
really
still drive
worried
you
for
and
a
April
long-
home. I think that's amazing.
It's really nice.
They barely reached the pedals.
You're
They're doing it.
joking, but Thomas just turned 16.
Hey, love to hear that. Love to hear a new DD in the house.
It's really nice. It's really nice. Actually, he's currently the babysitter, which he's doing really well at.
Awesome.
And Thomas, if you ever watched this, buddy, you are extremely good big brother.
Proud of you, Thomas.
You are
Proud of
extremely
you.
good big brother. So, and
Big ups, Thomas. Shout out.
and then
Follow Thomas on all the socials.
well, he doesn't have any socials.
Good.
I'm actually really proud
Good.
of him. He doesn't have any of that stuff, so I'm really proud of him. 16-year-old boy with no socials. That's cool. But it was so funny. Killian, my youngest son, just talked about Thomas, my youngest son, Killian, and then John, last name is Killian. We got tons of pictures of them together. Every time Killian comes in, he goes to find Mr. John. Right?
And we're not even related. Can you believe that?
It's
nuts. I did all the work on that.
Exactly.
I called that PBS show where they find your ancestors. They said no.
No.
You guys just both look Irish, but you're not related. So it was crazy.
It's all the curly hair everywhere.
That's what it is.
But yeah. So it's been really cool to get to watch that, to get to watch this. And also, too, it's been really cool. Like, so we started coming here, right after 2020, right when we opened the fly shop, started coming here. It was a nice, quiet place to come, and it's still a great place to come, but not nearly as quiet as this place. The store has grown amazingly. I see Braided River in so many new places. And how is business growing for you?
Man, that is.
I see you more stressed every day, which I think is a good thing.
Yeah, it's not necessarily a bad thing, I guess. That's probably more to do with my handling of it than anything else. But no, I'm glad you asked that. I feel like that's a part of our story that's sometimes not really told explicitly. So we opened, right before the pandemic shut everything down.
Yeah.
And so we opened, the model for breweries like us early on is to make as much money as you can through your tap room, because that's your best margins. It's your best place to really push your beer out there. And then, COVID shut that down.
Yeah.
The staff here pivoted, selling stuff, curbside pickup, things like that. But the real hero of us surviving that, getting through one of the hardest times for the service industry that has, ever existed, probably the hardest time to sell beer since Prohibition, I would say, honestly. Mm-hmm. It got us through is the city of Mobile was just like, no more breweries closing. We're done with that.
Right.
No more businesses failing. We're going to pull you through. So, we talk about pushing through those hard times. Really, we were pulled through those hard times by our community. And so when we do stuff like work with Baykeeper, tonight we're doing, which, by the time anybody sees this will have already passed, but tonight we're doing a fundraiser for a thing called Once Upon a Room. It's a charity, helps sick kids, gives them wonderful experiences when they can't leave their hospital rooms. They work tirelessly to do it. They don't get any credit. They just do it because they think it's the right thing to do. So we get to host them tonight. So people ask why we do so much with charitable organizations. Truth is, I don't think any of us could sleep at night if we didn't, because of what the city of Mobile has meant to us and pulled us out and, been, I guess sort of our patrons to keep us going in the tough times. So if somebody asked us to pitch in, we'd have no option but to say yes, but it's a joyful, responsibility and obligation. We're happy to be asked because it means that we're a meaningful part of our community, and we want to be. Because if we're not, we're just selling beer, whatever.
This is what I'm talking about. This is the kind of stuff they do with these organizations, with Baykeepers and all that kind of stuff. This is why I say that Braided River is such an integral part of the Mobile Bay area. It's part of that community as a whole. And it's not just conservation. It's not just fishing. It's so much more that, it really touches home for so many people. And it's really cool.
It's a great place to live.
It's one of my favorite places, period, because y'all do so much. I'm always so proud of you. I know these guys.
We're real lucky in that way, for sure, to get to pitching on that kind of stuff.
So let's move. Let's pivot, because I could go on for hours and hours and hours about the awesome shit you guys do.
Let's do that one later. Let's film a whole episode of just you saying good stuff about it.
I'll do it. I'm down. Down. Like 4 flat tires.
We'll make our own. This is Lost in Wondering right now. This is part of the Skiff Wonder.
The Skiff Wonder
Skiff
deal.
Wonder extended universe.
Yeah.
It's Lost in Wondering.
Skiff Wonder. Yeah.
We'll do a Lost and Found later. Maybe we'll call it that.
I love it.
Yeah. Lost and Wondering on a Braided River. Something like that.
I'm ready. So I love the name Braided River, right?
Yeah.
And y'all have a wonderful slogan / mantra / whatever you want to call it. Tell me, just go into that a little bit of detail, because I thought it was one of the first things. Like Williams, Peter, you got to meet these guys. You got to meet David and John. You got to meet these guys. You're gonna love them. You're gonna love them.
Yeah,
you're gonna love them. And then he goes. It's pretty accurate.
What is the mantra?
So it's drawn to the Delta, united by beer, but it's drawn to the Delta thing. Those of us who work here, there are people that are from here. I don't want to sound like we're just a bunch of carpetbaggers coming here to sell you beer and take your money, because we're not.
Because they're from Birmingham. So therefore, anyone north.
Just me. I'm the only one.
No, dude. Anyone north of I-10 is a carpetbagger, including myself. We're Yankees. As soon as you north of I-10.
Selma, famous Yankee territory.
Famous.
right there by the first capital of Confederacy, Selma.
Damn Yankees.
David's the owner and founder. He's from Mississippi. This was all his brainchild that he got going and then brought us along to be a part of, which I'm always thankful for that. But it's the Delta in the Bay are at the heart of everything we do. So we've got posters in here that are for Baykeeper and the things we do with them. But we do think about it, and we try to act responsibly. We've put in some initiatives to reduce plastic waste. We use as many compostable products as we can.
Yep.
It's just a simple one. It's standard in beer distribution that you would stack all your cans that are going out to grocery stores, things like that, on pallets and wrap them in saran wrap because it's cheap. It's pretty sturdy.
Yep.
But saran wrap is a terrible type of plastic that never degrades. It takes thousand plus years to degrade in a natural setting.
Millions.
So we started new initiative, and to my knowledge, we might be the only people doing this. If we're not, I mean, I'll eat my words on that.
This podcast is full of misinformation. So
Good.
Just say you're the only one doing it.
Yeah, they were
You're
just
ready for some fake news, brother.
we were just at my store, so we're bringing this thing way up.
But we initiated. We use large reusable rubber bands and cardboard siding, and so it's recyclable, it's reusable. We have the same rubber bands we've had for years, and so we work with our distributors they collect them when we get stuff back. They send them back to us, but that cuts out, and it's small, but it's small, and individual people and small businesses like ours are not the big problem with.
No, but
glitter,
small
but we all
steps
do
go a
something.
long. Small steps go a long way.
Like we should do
Small
that, and we should
steps go a long
also
way.
go toe to toe with Alabama Power, like our buddies at Baykeeper are doing, and make them pay their share. But we also have to pay our share, even though it is a small portion.
Well, that's the thing. If we are gonna ask Alabama Power to do their fair share, then we have to make sure that we have set the example first.
I think we should just make them do it. Don't ask me how. All right, I won't say that on a recorded line.
Right.
In case the feds are listening, but I will say,
Yeah.
I'm not taking any of those dudes.
okay.
Well, look, we're not talking about Boeing right now, so we're okay.
That's true. That's true. I'm an Airbus man myself. I don't mess with Boeing. I keep it down south when it comes to my airplanes.
By the way, if I fly anywhere, I fly American Eagle, that tiny little plane that just goes like that. That's it. That's all I do.
When I call a book flight, because that's what I do. I don't
Matter of
book
fact, I
online.
drive.
I call a travel agent on a rotary phone, and I say, "Hello." You got to talk like that on a rotary phone.
Yeah.
Hello, this is Mr. Killian here, and I say, "What kind of aircraft are they using?" And they don't know. It's not an Airbus. I don't fly it. I only get my chicken from Foosackleys. I only fly on Airbus planes. That's what I'm saying.
That's because they gave Boeing the finger.
That's right.
Exactly.
That's right.
Perfect.
So what else are you guys doing from a sustainability standpoint?
Well, I think one thing that we do, and I think it's the most important thing, is so we consume a lot of beer and our bodies filter it out and turn it back into waste product. And then we send that back to malls and they turn it back into water.
Yeah.
And then we use that water to make beer. It's, I mean, all of us do it, but we're doing it on purpose.
Yeah.
I think that's the difference. No, sorry. No, why.
Well, here's the thing that-
Sustainability, we are doing it. I'll tell you, we are doing other stuff. So
Speaking of that, I want to know why Baldwin County sewage systems charge me so much just to pump that back into Mobile Bay, if I'm being honest.
hey, I'll ask them next time I'm over there.
Dude, they have hung up on me so many times when I ask that question. They are not pleased with the Lost Angler Fly Shop
They
or
only
with
drink
my house
Fairhope
in
beer. They
Daphne.
don't talk to us.
Exactly.
No, they. I mean, we. So that's a big one. But like I said, the compostable products has been a big one. So we've eliminated as much plastic use as possible. We have a program to the plastic that we have to use.
Yeah. The 6-ring cans, you can bring them back. Yeah,
That's right. So we try to incentivize people to bring those in. We keep a collection up front. I mean, as many as Peter has saved up now, he might be able to redeem them for a share in the business. I don't know.
I've seen him in the fly shop, and I've been trying to. I was like, why is he saving these things?
I say
He
every
uses his
damn
to
one
choke
of-
turtles. So that's the
Choke
reason
turtles.
he keeps his. But his are for green sea turtles. He goes down the aisle and he throws them. He's,
April
Not a
skinned
good
me.
guy.
April skinned me alive. She loves those damn turtles.
she might do it anyway.
Yeah, why not?
No, that's. I think
Everybody's
that's
like,
really
if something
cool.
ever happens to you, we all know it's April, but nobody's ratting her out.
No, I just think that's really cool. That like, cause I mean, any kind of craft beer that I've ever purchased like comes with that on top, especially in a 6-pack. I've never heard of anybody being like, "Hey, bring those back to us. We're going to reuse them."
Yeah, we sanitize them. We reuse them.
Yeah.
And it's a bit of added labor, and honestly, we don't. People say, "Oh, you're saving money." Really, we don't, because the labor
No,
cost completely
right.
erases that. But it's more new plastic that's not being made, and it's
Yeah.
small.
You're trying to eliminate.
yeah.
I mean, you're trying to eliminate as much single-use plastic as you possibly can.
Absolutely,
Because
yeah,
eliminating plastic altogether at this point, it's not going to happen. But
No.
if you can get it to where
I'm sorry, I had epiphany. It hurt.
the only plastic that we're using isn't single use.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's awesome.
I want to talk about Braided River's commitment to using Alabama stuff real quick. Talk about the beer you guys did not too long ago. Those Alabama hops, Alabama weed, Alabama everything. All right. No, seriously, do the Alabama Brewery. You talked about how you did all the stuff and talked about the
Okay.
connection just using
Yeah.
Alabama stuff. Because I fucking love that so much because Alabama is my favorite place in the world despite all of its fucking million shortcomings.
Oh yeah, yeah. But I mean,
But it's mine, goddammit.
it's our exactly right.
Is that-
Yeah,
I can talk shit about it, but you can't.
Yeah, it's like a family thing. I feel the same way.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, we mess up, but I mean, I'm still flying the flag. I mean, I'm still an Alabamian,
Yeah, I talked to
somebody else say something about it.
I talked to a buddy of mine who's from Austin, Texas.
Gross.
Yeah, exactly. No, he's a really cool dude. Despite that, but so he was talking about. He's like Alabamians, people from Alabama. I've never met anybody on earth more proud to be from their state than people from Alabama.
He said this living in the state of Texas.
Like, yeah, as a native Texican.
Yeah.
Living in Montana.
Well, there you go.
They love it too.
Yeah, and he's like, dude, I'm gonna be honest with you, I've never met somebody from Alabama that wasn't pleased as punch to be
Maybe
from
some
Alabama.
of it's belligerence. Maybe some of it's like, oh yeah, you think this sucks? Well, I absolutely love it. Oh,
Well,
you think this isn't cool? Well, I think it's the coolest. Maybe it's that.
I mean, Alabama
But I do
has
feel that way.
Alabama has many shortcomings, but if you wanted to look at a place, we say the word Alabama the Beautiful, but when you take, like, we're down here on the Bay, where you're from in Birmingham, completely different. Where I'm from in Central Alabama, completely different. What Birmingham and now it's almost still Central Alabama. You go up to around Huntsville, completely different ballgame. And it's so amazing how everything about the state changes from one end to the other. And just like E.O. Wilson was like, dude, this is like if you want to look at biodiversity, you need to look at the great state of Alabama.
I mean, more miles
100%.
of navigable waterway than any other state.
Yeah, we've
I
got.
mean, you go northeast Alabama, where the Appalachian Mountains end, through Jones Valley in central Alabama, Red Mountain, down through the Riverlands in central Alabama where you're from. It's the most fertile land there is. Down to the Black Belt, that rich, dark soul, that rich culture, all the wonderful things. Hank Williams came from the Black Belt. Hank Williams is from Alabama.
Yeah.
And he's ours. And then come down here to America's Amazon. It's, I'm proud as hell to be from here.
For sure. I was spoiled
I
to
don't mind
death.
telling anybody. And I'll tell you what. You asked about the beer.
Yeah.
I'll tell you about that.
Oh, yeah.
So I think we're the first people that ever did this. And I've looked and I've called and I've genuinely done some extensive research. I'm fairly certain I'm right about this. We made the first ever beer with Alabama malt and Alabama hops. It's hops grown right here in Mobile County.
It was
by
very, very, very
Auburn's.
good, by the way.
Shout out my buddy Kyle Owsley. He's a chief horticulturalist for Auburn's.
The chief what?
Horticulturalist.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. He's a lot of other things, but he's also that. He's that for a living. And with the Auburn's Ornamental Horticulture Lab, which is over by Municipal Park. And then he's got he grew the hops.
Yeah, that's where I used to live on CCV. We actually,
that's right.
So like literally, my house backed up to that.
And he grew the hops right here.
That is so cool.
The malt came from some boys in Huntsville. They, had learned how to malt. Basically, they'd grown this wheat right here in the state of Alabama. So everything, 4 main parts of beer: hops, malt, yeast, water. Those are like the 4 key ingredients. Water was from here, obviously. Yeast is just yeast. I mean, it's not from anywhere. It sort of goes beyond time and space. Yeast is an enigma. But the hops, the malt, the water, they're all from here. To our knowledge, no one's ever done it. The beer was great. It's called Harvest Ale.
It was super good. Super good. They
Delicious
did it this
beer,
past fall. It was phenomenal.
We'll do it again as much as we can, but we were proud to do it. And, for us, there's things we make that we're proud of because everybody else likes it. And there's things we make that we're proud of because we like it. But then there's like this third thing that, as far as I know, only really Harvest Ale feels. And there's things that we're proud of making because no one else has made them, and by God, it needed to be made.
Yeah.
And it's just it's like inside of you, and it's got to come out. You got to make this shit, or you're gonna explode. And that's how we feel about Harvest Ale. And it was good. The response was fantastic. The day that came out, you talk about being proud to be from Alabama. That was a flag waving day in here. I had only Alabama music playing over the speakers. I go from Fort Payne's own top-selling country music band of all time, Alabama. So I can put a little Hank on, a little Lionel Richie maybe. Of course I did. Of course I put Lionel Richie on. It was nice. I was digging, artists people hadn't even heard. Waxahachie, great indie band out of Birmingham. But it was fantastic. It was a great day. The beer was good. It was cold. It was delicious. The vibes were impeccable. It was.
We had a great time. Everyone had a
big
wonderful
Alabama
time that
day.
day.
Oh, yeah.
It was lovely. It was good stuff. It was great beer too. I drank a lot of it, and I took a lot of it home. It was great stuff.
I hope you drank that stuff when you got it home.
Oh, it's gone.
Yeah. Malls has already turned mine back into potable water now, so it's.
Yeah.
God bless Malls. Shout out.
Heck yeah, Baldwin County
Shout out
Sewage has already
Moss.
put mine into Mobile Bay. I'll be angry at them for a while.
Braided River does not endorse the slander of Baldwin County Utilities.
That's right. Neither does Lost Angler Fly Shop.
What?
No. Also, I will say this: these guys, Baldwin County Utilities, is working really hard to correct that. Just not hard enough.
What other? Yeah, tell us a little bit more about the different kinds of beers that you guys make.
Yeah, so we, the whole Braided River Drawn to the Delta thing, it's catchy. At least we hope it is in terms of like branding and marketing. But it genuinely does play a ton into how we think about the beer we make. So everything we do, from our flagship IPA, Hoppy by Nature, to the lighter offerings or the seasonal stuff, it's got drinkability in mind. It's hot. I mean, it's first week of May.
It's warm out.
90 degrees outside. I'm sweating like crazy. You guys look terrible right now.
Thanks.
I mean, you guys look like you're melting. It's insane.
I've been eyeing that shandy. That's going to be good in about a month or two.
Shandy's nice.
Yeah.
When you get that sun comes
No,
out,
knock
man,
it
when
out
the
right
heat
now, bro.
miser comes to get you, the shandy
yeah.
knocks him back a few steps.
Luckily, this is not being broadcast in smell-o-vision
God, yeah.
because my chunky butt smells like a combination of bacon grease and whiskey.
I'm covered in a coating of deodorant right now to keep that from happening. I got just a thin layer over my entire body.
Everyone's like,
I dip myself in a vat, and I'm like born again every morning. I do that. But that's what we do. We build around the heat, right? Because I mean, we sell in the whole state of Alabama now, Florida Panhandle, and coastal Mississippi.
Okay.
So those are our three sort of regions, four distributorships. But it's hot in all those places. I mean, it's not like you get to Huntsville and suddenly it's snowing in April in Huntsville. It's not going to do that. Your shorts are on, you got your flip-flops on in April in the whole state of Alabama. So it's built for heat. It's lighter. It's more sessionable. We use a lot of tropical flavors. We like to use local fruit flavors. That's sort of been our moniker is we name this beer for this incredible river system that feeds the Delta. So if you're out enjoying that river system and you want a cold one, we want to make something that you'd enjoy in that setting and not, you don't want like a 9% porter that, tastes like you're, licking between a giant's toes or something, some crazy like dark flavor that's heady. No, it's refreshing. It's light. Some of them are high octane, and we do some heavier stuff, no doubt. It gets cold for like 3 days in January, so we do make beer for those 3 days.
We're super excited.
But for the rest of it, that's what it's about. It's sessionability, refreshment. We want it to fit where we are. I mean, we don't make beer for beer's sake. We make beer to be drank in Mobile, Alabama.
To be enjoyed, yeah.
Yeah.
What's so funny, going back to that, it gets cold for 3 days, being from central Alabama, then moving down here, watching people down here, when it gets below freezing, the panic that ensues.
Oh, boy, those jackets come out quick, don't they?
Oh, my gosh. We gotta let all the pipes drip.
Yeah.
We got to wrap it up. There's a lot going on right now. It's
Oh,
like,
Lord, it's 70 degrees. I get my North Face jacket out of storage. Put it on.
Was it Han Solo season when all the ladies have their sweaters and the vest and the boots?
I love it. Love it. Han Solo season. It's my favorite.
It's dangerous out. Don't
I've
go
ever
alone.
heard it called Han Solo season.
You never heard it
But
called Han
no,
Solo?
but it's
It
definitely,
fits, doesn't it?
it fits way too well.
As soon as the pumpkin spice comes out.
Oh, dude, I love a good pumpkin. Do you guys make a pumpkin spice?
No, but we do have pumpkin spice flavored seltzer. And we sometimes flavor cider with it. And it's awful. It's like 6 people love it.
With
And
6
so I
people
keep
love
it for them.
Dude, that is commitment to your clientele.
Oh,
man.
April's about to
We're
do
just happy to
elderberry.
be here, dude. We're just happy to be here.
We get 6 people to show up, and they want cider beer or pumpkin spice cider beer. That's what we're making.
I'm here to tell you, April is here for that cider. The Johnny B. Good cider.
She's
My
number
wife
one
is here
cider
for
head.
it.
She's the number one
100%.
cider head for sure. It is a bit corny, but I do say this with all sincerity. It is for those of us who love the hospitality industry and found like a calling there, or a place there, to be able to do it, even if it's just if we got 3 people working behind the bar and there's 1 person in the bar, being able to give them just a top tier experience. When it's like that, sometimes we'll just say, "Hey, you want a tour? Yeah." Because why not? Like if I were sitting somewhere and somebody treated me like that, I think I'd remember that place. So getting the opportunity to create that, we're thankful for those opportunities, and also it's just fun. It is just fun to work in a place you like with people that you like, and get to make someone's day every now and then. That's just a nice way to live,
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I could have been a billionaire. Listen, I could be.
You got
who
some
knows?
ideas.
Yeah, the NBA was looking at me for a while because I got a hell of a 3-pointer. Had great outside shot. Pretty good point guard. I can run an offense. Okay?
Yeah.
I can do it. But I thought, no, I'm just going to go make significantly less money to work in craft beer for the rest of my. I mean, Peter had some opportunities. Was it CERN in Switzerland on the Hadron Collider? They'd asked you to come work on that, and you said, I'm going to open a fly shop instead.
There's a lot, you know.
I'm going to go sell
It's a big
R.L. Winston
decision.
rods instead.
It's a big decision.
Part of this whole series is to understand why people open up fly shops.
Yeah, good luck with that.
We are damaged people.
So it's a lot about childhood trauma. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, well, I thought it'd be a great idea.
Yeah, it's great. It's fun. I mean,
Yeah.
I would imagine the same for you guys when you get somebody
Oh, yeah.
turn them on to fly fishing, you get that light in their eyes that they found something new that they love. That's a great feeling.
It's the same thing you're talking about with the brewery, building that community. This is exactly what the shop's there for, building that community. It's the same thing Skiff Wanderer does. It builds that bigger community.
Don't bring me into this.
I'm dragging you down with me.
Oh, great.
Yep. And kind of going back to what we were talking about, just kind of how amazing this is down here. We drove over. Don't die. So we drove over the bay today, right? And it was chocolate milk for sure, because it's just windy. That's Mobile Bay. But we just left a gin clear river.
You know, so my first experience in southern Tennessee, we were smallmouth fishing in southern Tennessee, and it was, you know, I've driven I don't know how many times back and forth across the U.S. and been all over the place, and most of what I've done in Alabama is drive through it.
I'll tell you that later.
And we got on the. You're gonna die. And we got on the river.
I didn't want to.
We got on the river.
Cough into the microphone.
And all of a sudden, like this world of, you know, you guys have been talking about Alabama, and you're from Alabama. So let's be honest, you're a little biased.
Big time.
And so for somebody that had done nothing more than really, I think the only things that I had done in Alabama was drive through it and go to Bryant-Denny Stadium.
Well, you knew we played some football, didn't you?
Yeah.
You heard a bit about that, I think.
Oh, my sister went to school there.
Hey.
And so we get on this river, and it's, you know, crystal clear. There's fish going everywhere, you know, and I start asking the guys I'm with, I'm like, oh, what's that fish? What's that fish? Because you go out on a flat, and you know, if you ask me on a flat, like, oh, what's that fish? I probably can tell you if I saw it. And the first thing that the guy that I was, Adam from Blue Line Co., he tells me, he goes, look, man, I don't know all the names of the fish. There's more fish. The only place in the world that has more species of fish in its waterways is the Amazon. This place has like countless numbers of different species of fish in it. And, you know, hearing you guys talk about that, it's really cool because that's now the second time that I've heard it. So it must be some truth to it. And it's absolutely like,
well,
you can go fish.
What did that sunfish that we brought to hand look like today?
Oh, it was gorgeous. It had greens and blues and oranges and purples, and I mean, you know, you were saying it looked like it belonged in a saltwater aquarium, and it's, I don't know how many. There's just so many different species of fish. There's so many things. Like the water is, like, you really need to come to Alabama. And as much as I love chasing redfish, like, figure out a way to
Which
get
we got
yourself,
those in spades.
But what I'm saying is, like, figure out a way to get yourself on a river here.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
the rivers, the river system going through this state is.
You know, that's what the name means. That's what Alabama means. It's land of the rivers. It was, the indigenous people that lived here. That was their livelihood.
Yeah.
And every people that have lived in this state have made a living on the rivers here. We're river people.
Yeah, for
You
sure.
know, a whole state of river rats. So, you know, I grew up, my dad would take us down the Cahaba, and we didn't have boats. We weren't big sportsmen or whatever. Like, that wasn't our
You just
gig.
had two floaties.
We just go stand on the Cahaba, and then I can remember him reaching down and scooping up this tiny, you know, yellow darter.
Yeah.
And it's the Cahaba darter. It's only in the Cahaba River. It's the only place it exists. And it's these Cahaba lilies are out there, and that's the only place those flowers grow. And he said,
But
and,
you know
he put that in me early. But this is why I feel this way as a 37, 38-year-old, is because when I was a 7 and 8-year-old, he said, yeah, this is ours. Like, don't let anybody fuck it up. Like, look after it. We were politically conservative people. I'm not going to get political on this, but we were from a political kin that is not normally too concerned with the environment, and maybe thinks people use it as whatever. But that's the way I grew up. But he knew. He's from here. He saw this is our like treasure and our heritage, and it's important. Yeah. And so people grow up working class like I did. Maybe your parents don't hand you much. They can give you that because we all own that collectively.
Yeah.
It's one of the most beautiful places on earth.
It really is.
And one of the things that I think that kind of gets overlooked, and I'm gonna throw Mississippi in here as well, especially with Alabama. And
that's our brother. You can throw him in.
And
we're cool with
Mississippi is
our special brother.
The topography of these two states. I mean, you go to the northern part, you get into the south reaches of the Ozarks. You've got a more mountainous terrain. About a month ago, I was camping outside of Selma, right outside of Selma.
It's Marion, by the way.
Marion,
yes.
Yeah, and I mean, beautiful rolling hills.
Around the Cahaba.
Gorgeous
Yeah, that's about because he goes a
country.
little bit further, gets to the stop of the fall line, which is just south of Selma, where you get around Orville, Alabama.
Oh, yeah.
Which, we've got a lot of friends and family up in that area, you and I both.
Orville's a blessed place.
It's where the living's easy.
That's right.
There's a big.
Orville, Alabama, where the live. This segment brought to you by Orville, Alabama.
We have $1 General and a post office. Right? That's literally it. But yeah, that's literally where it stops. Like there is a coastal plain hits and just flies as a pancake for the rest of the time.
It's drastic. I mean, and there's places that are, when you get out there, prehistoric almost. You get up into the Delta, you feel like you've traveled 10,000 years or whatever. I mean,
you can find shark's
10
teeth,
million
all
years.
kinds
Sorry, I
of
don't know how
amazing stuff out there too. It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy. And like you can be literally, let's say you're in Marion. You go a little bit further north towards Centerville and you're on the Cahaba and you'll be going through limestone, soapstone walls that are just, you're going through a canyon and the Cahaba River runs through it in the middle. And then it gives way to shoals and breaks and 100 yards. Go a little bit further, just past Marion, and the Cahaba River slows down. It gets into that cypress area and it just relaxes. And it kind of gets into that more we'll get there when we get there sort of situation, right? It just becomes an unhurried area.
Yeah. That
100%.
was a seat of commerce for a community of 80,000 people before any Europeans
exactly
walked
right,
in.
100%.
I mean, a huge, thriving community that they lived right there on the river, built these beautiful mounds.
And David's wife, David, one of the owners of
Erin
Braided
Nelson,
River. Yep.
professor at University of South Alabama. Brilliant mind.
Super cool lady, and I had so much fun. She does asking her questions about there's so many Indian mounds in the Delta, and seeing how those peoples were connected through the entire state. It was connected by those rivers.
Yeah.
And it was a seasonal
first
transition.
highways.
Yeah, 100%. It was so cool.
Suck it, Dwight Eisenhower. They had highways before you built the interstates.
0 parts of them are straight, but we were there.
That's all right. Well, I need to be,
get there.
man.
Just get there when you get there.
Yeah.
Get there when you get there.
Yeah, what's the hurry? They didn't have watches.
It's Alabama, man.
Yeah. I don't think, Chief Osceola, also from Alabama, wasn't checking his Apple Watch to see when the next meeting was,
No, not at all.
So he was just fucking those feds up when they tried to kick him out of Florida.
It was
doing.
100%. So we were heading up here, right? And I'm running behind. I get a text from you. Hey, I'm running behind.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's exactly what's supposed to happen. And I told...
You want to know the truth while we were running behind?
Yeah, shoot.
We had to go a Costco run, and then we were like, let's go nip down the bay for a little bit.
Exactly.
Let's go take the Bay Road for a little bit.
Exactly. I told Pete, I was like, this is how South Alabama works.
Yeah, sorry about that,
Like,
guys.
when you get a time, like when somebody tells you a time, it just needs to say ish.
Yeah.
We're going to get there.
That's LAT, man. That's lower
Ish.
Alabama time. That's it.
LAT.
We're going to... About that time.
Yeah. This ain't Madison Avenue. I don't have a secretary telling me where to be.
No, but I love how suppers take longer.
They ought to.
They should. Suppers take longer. Time with friends takes longer.
Get you a good cold beer. Drink it slow. That's the way to go.
It's time for a break.
So speaking of LAT time, we've actually managed to delay ourselves and talk long enough that now the tap room is open.
We actually delayed opening the tap room so we could finish, and we just couldn't push it back any further.
No. What he's not saying is
Bill's gotta get paid.
It's because literally everybody knew it opened at 3:30, but nobody got here until 3:45. That's the real fact of the matter. That's
if we were as good at keeping time as he is at those segues, then we'd have been open a long time ago.
A long time ago. A lot of stuff would happen.
All right, so
It's just too damn
John,
hot.
if somebody wants to buy your beer, where do they need to go?
So if you are in the state of Alabama, just about any Publix is going to have us. We've got a beer locator on our website that we are updating pretty regularly at this point. If you're down on the coast, down in Mobile, check us out in the Panhandle. Check us out in coastal Mississippi. But if you're in
Rouse's
Mobile,
carries
just
it
come
too,
straight
for
here.
sure.
Come holler.
Yeah.
If you see me, I'll say you heard on this. I'll give you a tour. I'll let you try anything you want. For $50, you can drink straight from the tap. You call Wheezin' the Juice, and for $50, it can be yours. You can do it. I'll hold your head back, It's comfortable for you, but we try to offer that kind of premier experience here
Pauly Shore
for
moment
your
right there.
listeners.
I didn't try that.
Yeah.
What's the website?
Cash only. BraidedRiverBrewing.com. You can BraidedRiverBrewing.com is the website. You can check us out. We're on Braided River Brewing on all social media platforms, except for TikTok, because the red Chinese. Put that in. I think
That's
it's
a whole
banned.
nother podcast.
Yeah. Wait, is this not out? Is this not InfoWars? I thought that's what we were doing here.
That's my day job.
TikToks. I like my TikToks now. I do very little on TikTok, so I don't have to worry about things because I have to be very careful owning a business. I'm going to go on Instagram. Oh no, I know all these people. Instead, it's like I'm going TikTok. I don't know you. That's great. So I like the taking talks.
All right, guys. As always,
Comes with sweet and sour pork.
if you
Better cut that. I can't be canceled this early in my life.
we're all getting canceled.
Goddamn
The fact that
Mongolians.
I've made it this long and haven't getting canceled, I don't know if they canceled canceling people or what.
No, not really. No.
All right, let's see. We got to do the remind people what to do. If you're watching this, hit like, hit subscribe, share it with your friends. If you don't like this, share it with your enemies. Make sure you're checking out The Lost Angler on the YouTubes, the Instagrams, the 10 minutes off of I-10 outside of Spanish Forks. If you're listening to this on Apple or Spotify or any of those other podcast things, 5-star review would be nice. If you don't leave a 5-star review and you come in to Braided River Brewery, you're not going to get a tour.
I'm going to waterboard you with an IPA.
Well,
I'm talking Guantanamo Braided right there.
I feel like
okay?
half the guys that listen to this might actually enjoy that.
Well, then I won't do it if you don't.
Okay, so we're gonna. So
If you hate it,
if you leave
won't.
less than a 5-star review, we're gonna need to know your preference on IPAs. If you come into Braided River, there's gonna be a questionnaire.
I keep some Truly back there for these occasions. I'm going to force feed you Truly. And get that IPE. You know what that is?
No.
That's a India Pale Enema, and that's what you get. That's what you get if you leave less than a 5-star review. So,
all right,
let's get all 5 stars. Let's like and subscribe. Let's top Mr. Beast this week. How about that?
Perfect.
There we go.
Perfect. And guys, and us also too. So when you guys are coming to go to Gulf Shores in Orange Beach, and you're getting on I-10 off I-65, and traffic is at a dead stop, which it is every day during the summer.
Yep.
You know what you do? You say to hell with that, and you drive to Braided River, have a cold beer. On the weekends, they normally have a food truck, all kinds of great stuff going on.
Good times.
Awesome people, good beer, good people. And then you enjoy yourself, and then after the traffic's done, then you go to Gulf Shores in Orange Beach. This is a good plan. Run with it. Trust me.
I like that plan.
And if you enjoy yourself too much, John will let you crash on his couch.
All right, it's been good talking to you guys.
Thanks
all
for
the best
listening.
in your future endeavors. Happy casting.